Yo! Okay, we're gonna do like just a chill stream, you know? I thought about getting all ready and stuff, but honestly, I didn't want to put any makeup on, I didn't feel like it. So I'm gonna do like a chill art stream with no camera, and we're gonna work on some stuff that I want to do for reels and things. And then we're probably gonna get into doing some of the Star Wars fan art that I worked on yesterday. So I'm gonna pop over here. This is what we were working on last night. I'm gonna open a soda here, sorry. I need fuel. This is what we worked on yesterday during Saturday morning cartoons. Why is my Steam coming up? Hold on, let me exit my Steam. Exit Steam. I do want to work on this a little bit, I think, but what I'll probably end up doing is like saving it till the end because there's some actual work that I want to get done. And I thought I'd do it on stream because otherwise I probably won't get to it. That's the truth. Is like I have all these great plans for like what I might do on Instagram and stuff, and then like I don't do them. Alright, so basically the vibe for today is that I've got this file, and it's, let me open it like this. It is just like your standard like reel size, and what I want to do is I want to be able to like stream my art and have like the art in the center. Like I want to make a frame to put like a reel of art in. So like the area in the center will be like where the time lapse is in when I do my reels. And then, you know, there's like the stuff on the side and there's like the stuff across the bottom. And then I think there's like the user icon in the top and some stuff like that, you know. And so I kind of want to do something where the art will like sit in the corner, but I want to have like some like cool items like decorating the edge like this, because it's gonna be like botany and like magical items for this reel series. So I feel like I could do some cool items like some grass and stuff and like paint it around the edges. And then every time I finish something in Fresco and export the time lapse for it, I just have to put the video into like the Express Beta or like the Adobe Rush, and this stuff will be like over the top of it, just kind of framing it really nicely, which will be kind of cool. So that is like kind of a rough sketch of like how it'll look. And I figure if I paint in Fresco on a file that is the same shape, like ratio, that I need for reels, then I just have to keep drawing in the center, you know, and it'll just be at this ratio, and then I can throw it into the file as I need it, and it'll all kind of mesh well. So it really will keep like the amount of work that I have to do on the back end to like make content, it'll keep that to a minimum. And then it'll also be something that's like kind of unique and kind of cool, and pick out some music and throw some music on, and that sort of thing. So that's like my sketch, and I realized I just did all that on the background, but that's fine. I can just turn that on a lower opacity, and I will make a new layer and just drop that down, and then we will start to paint. I think that what I'd like to do is like on a more serious note as far as what's going to be in the scene, is I'd like to do just plants and soil. So have like a soil layer where there's like grass and stuff, you know, something like this. And I can do like some variations of texture and things. And then we could put like, right here we could put like a rock. Or it could be like a mushroom cap, you know. We could have like a little mushroom coming up. Like so, like there's some little mushrooms. And then I want to have some grass, so we can do like some tall grass. Like so. And we can do some more like little foliage things over here. So that's like that. This one, I kind of like the idea of there being like a big mushroom here. So we'll put like a rock over here. And then this will be like a big mushroom cap with some littler mushroom caps. We could even have like a snail on one or something. Some little tiny rocks in the background. We could even put like a little stream of water here. So it's like really like just like this little fantasy woodland frame. And then we could also have, I don't know, we could do like cattails or something. Like, you know, the little things that go like this. You know, those little things. That's actually pretty cool. Maybe we'll make these cattails too. That's pretty cute. So we'll have like 3 over here, 2 over here. We can have some grass still, but maybe thinner than the cattails. And then do some like little frondy bush stuff. I think that actually looks pretty cool. And then it would also be really cool if, you know, because the items that I'm gonna paint that would like the time lapse would go in this frame. They would be things that I paint with a transparent background, and I don't know if I can have a transparent background, like exporting it as such in Fresco, but I could honestly, I was thinking about like if it was like if I paint a plant, you know, this is like a little plant with its roots that I paint, and it's like in the center there, and the time lapse of it is going. If I can't have a transparent background, then that would kind of X out my next idea, which would be like to paint a moon for the background, you know, but I don't know if I can do that. I think I would just have to do like this, and then just put this transparent image over it. So, so there's like kind of a more solid idea. Hey Jay! Hey! I was gonna say, if you Thrawn first, then you'll Thrawn for the whole time. That's so true. I'm sorry, by the way, I was not looking at my chat for some reason. It was covered. My bad. Yeah, if I Thrawn for the beginning of the stream, I will Thrawn the whole time. That is very, very true. You know me too well. So we're gonna do the work that I have to get done first. So that'll be like the border. I'm wondering if that's like too much, but I don't think so, because if I do what, like the stuff that I want to do is not really gonna take up that much space. I could maybe bump it in, but I could also just make sure that everything I paint is on its own layer so that I can move it around. So let's go ahead and do like the mushroom, shall we? Your cam is also not on, so you're aware. Yes, I am not streaming with the cam on today. I thought I was going to. Honestly, I felt like doing it earlier today, and then I decided not to. To be perfectly honest, I have had a breakout. My face kind of hurts. I'm only human, and I was like, by the end of the day, I was like dreading putting makeup on because it just hurts my face. So, I figured that you guys would not begrudge me not wearing makeup over acne. Yeah, it just takes too much work. It takes me a long time to put it on sometimes if I want it to like be fancy. And to be perfectly honest, I don't actually wear a lot of makeup. I only wear makeup when I'm streaming. And sometimes like if I have someplace important to go, maybe I will wear makeup, but for the most part I do not actually wear any makeup. And so it just feels weird on my face when I do put it on, and I don't know. Okay, let's do mushrooms. I'm pulling up a little bit of reference here, by the way, because so that's why there's nothing going on. Here we go. There's some good reference. Okay. Let's do something like this. I'm actually going to move this over. You can do it, Jay. You got this. Pardon me if I'm quiet. I'm doing my speech outline for my public speaking class, so I'm looking up resources. No problem, dude. Work away. I feel like this would be cool, just like kind of in the corner right here. That's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and put like a, for stuff like this is like weird, but like for stuff like this, I typically will actually start in like color. With like characters, no. But sometimes with items and props and things, I will. But what I actually might do is, I might actually use the lasso for this. Is there a name for this style of drawing? Like when you add sketch broad stripes, then add detail and layers? I don't know. That's just kind of the way I came by it. I started doing it, honestly. You're not the first person to ask me that. I started doing it, honestly, like making everything in layers because I was afraid I would ruin something. You know, like people have asked me like, what is the technique for using the layers that you use? And it's literally just I made a thing that I like well enough and I don't want to screw it up, so I'm making another layer on top of it so that I don't destroy it. That's kind of it. Let's go ahead and do deselect. It's just, you know, my brain works in layers too a little bit, so it just feels better to do it that way. Because I think about like, okay, let's put, you know, let's get the big shape in there, and then I will start hacking away at other things. Do a layer of texture and so on and so forth. It just, you know, kind of computes in my brain that way as well. if there is a name for it, I don't know that there's a name for it. If there is a name for it, I would like to know though, because that would be cool to look up and like see how other people do that too. Okay. Let me go to my clipping mask, and now I'm going to use my lasso to kind of do something like this. And it's on a clipping mask, so it doesn't matter how out of the lines it is on the bottom. It just needs to be in the lines against where I'm trying to hack it up. So I'll do something like this. So I'll grab my brush, and I'm actually going to go to a soft round brush and put it on that dissolve. And I'm gonna grab, I think I'm gonna grab like an orangey color. I wonder if this will work. Yeah. Nah, maybe not an orangey color. Maybe orangey color on top, but for here, let's go to like a blue. Let's do like a dark blue. Yeah. And I just separate it from that mushroom cap. And I could even, if I wanted to, let's sample that color. Can I sample that color? Grab the purple, put a little more purple, put it like right underneath there. So there's like that hard shadow. And then I could even put like a spot of color. Yeah, I'll just separate it. And then actually I'm going to, with my selection tool, I will select inverse. Because then I can make another layer, which is a clipping mask. In fact, I'm going to make a clipping mask and then I'm just going to make a new one under here. And then I can come in and start doing the same thing to the top here. And I can grab this color and put a little bit of that darkness over here, just so I'm starting to like slowly chip away at making it look a little 3D. Let's grab some pink. Kind of blush it a little bit here. I don't know. Use a different brush. Let's see what else we got. I could come back to actually the hard round and turn that flow down. Get a little bit more going here. I feel like it needs more green. It needs a lot more green than this. So what I'm actually gonna do is let's use some blending modes. So I'm gonna come in and lasso this. I do this a lot where I'll come in and I'll grab my paint bucket. Let's grab like a eerie green color. In fact, let's drop our sketch down like so. And then I'll cycle through, oops, I'm doing that on the sketch layer. I'll cycle through the modes. Ooh, that's kind of cool. On here just to kind of see if that one's kind of cool. That adds a little bit more green. See if I can find something that looks kind of interesting. I did actually like this in a weird way. this one is cool. Val, you really do make this look easy. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that because I oftentimes feel like I'm not doing well enough, which is, I think, just a symptom of putting your creative work out there. I don't know if you guys had a chance to check out any reels that I made on Instagram today, but just before I went live, I posted a reel with like just a time lapse of my art, but I posted it because I wanted to share the audio clip that went in, that, you know, went with it, that I posted it with. And I wanted to do it because I thought it was really good advice. It was like this guy talking about, how do I explain it? It was like talking about how when people are kind of beginning their creative journey, they get frustrated or disappointed in their work and they quit what they're doing. They quit what they're working on because what they're making doesn't look as good as they want it to look. And he said something that I thought was really cool, and it just reminded me of struggles like this, you know, where you you like are trying to execute a certain idea, a certain concept in your work. I think my Photoshop just did it freeze. No, there it goes. You're trying to execute a particular concept in your work, and it's just not coming out properly. And the way that he said it was really cool, because he was basically like, the reason why you get into creative work in the first place really is because you have great taste. You're like expressing this creative taste that you have for certain elements, and there's always going to be like this weird period of time when you first start doing stuff where nothing really looks quite right to you. And he said most people quit, you know, when they get to that point. They're trying to make it, but it's just not happening, you know. It's not coming together the way that they had hoped, and their work doesn't look the way that they want their creative work to look. It's not conveying that that creative voice, that creative passion. And he's like, that's just, you know, you feel that way because your taste is refined and you can tell that it's not going well, you know, but you have to get past that point where your stuff doesn't look the way that you want it to look. And if you can just like stick to it and spend the time like getting past that point, pretty soon your creative work will start to align with your taste. And I thought that was so cool because I feel like that all the time. And he was talking about it, you know, from the perspective more of like beginners, but I felt like it was something that was really, you know, something that could be applied to people at any portion of their creative journey. You know, once your tastes are ever evolving, you know, and just as your skills are. And so I feel like I feel it a lot. How long did it take you to get past that time for beginner? You know, I really don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I'll tell you why I couldn't tell you. And while I do it, I'm actually going to group these and hide them because I'm not satisfied with that, which is funny because that's exactly what we're talking about right now. I couldn't tell you how long it took me to get past that point where, you know, my creative tastes were not aligning with what I was actually creating. Because, and this is something that I kind of came to learn the hard way, because I think that, as I said just a moment ago, like your creative tastes change and so does your creative skill. And so I found that, like, for example, I'll give you like an actual real life example of something I experienced as I went through the journey. I used to avidly hang out on DeviantArt. Hung out on DeviantArt all the time. I found DeviantArt at a time in my life where I was not really I didn't understand like digital art a lot, and so like seeing what people were doing, it was just kind of like this mind-blowing time where I was, you know, going to this website that I thought was like the greatest website ever, and I was, you know, I had artists that I followed regularly because I thought their work was like the most incredible thing that I had ever seen. And I remember thinking to myself, there was this this illustrator who's still a great illustrator, though I can't remember if they changed their name online or not, but the illustrator's name was Ander. And I was just like so enamored with Ander and their work, and I was like, if I could just draw like this, I would be happy, you know? If I could just draw half as good as this, I would be happy. I would have it all, you know? And time went by, and you know, I got a little bit better at art. That feeling never went away, but I remembered Anders' work because some years had passed and I had, you know, moved on to different favorite artists, you know, as you sometimes do. And I remember I went back to Anders' art and I felt like we were at the same caliber. Like I had improved and I was making art that was as good as what Ander was doing, even in my opinion, because I had, you know, worked at doing it. And I was like, so that's super crazy to me that like before I couldn't even finish a painting, and now me and somebody that I admired for so many years, we are both painting like full-blown character portraits, you know? And I was like, how come I didn't feel that accomplishment once I'd reached that moment in my creative journey? There is no owl, you know, that delivers a letter to you like you're going to Hogwarts, and tells you, hey, you've hit this milestone in your creative skill. You've passed that point, that goal you set for yourself so long ago. I never felt that way, and I thought that was like really mind-blowing to me, because how could I have gotten so much better compared to the art that I was making previously and feel like I hadn't moved or changed at all, you know? And so that to me, you know, was kind of a dawning moment where I was like, I don't know that you ever really feel that. In fact, I've met people actually who either feel that or they're claiming to feel that, like that they're amazing and they've reached this portion of their career where they are the most incredible artist, you know, that they can be. And typically I don't really like those people. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's the way to be about it. You know what I mean? It doesn't, I don't know that that's natural. That feeling of like having it all and being it all and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? And so I would say that like, I definitely have had moments in my career where I felt like, wow, I'm doing a good job. But I don't know that I feel all the time like I do in those moments. In fact, I know I don't. And I also don't, like when I sit down to paint, I don't think like, wow, I'm gonna execute this idea perfectly. I felt like an example of a good moment would be when we streamed yesterday and I did the Thrawn painting. I was like really proud of myself. I was like, I made this, you know, and that was genuine. I felt that. But like, I didn't sit down and just think to myself, I'm gonna start a really great Thrawn painting and it's gonna go perfect. I don't think I have that confidence often. Maybe with things that I paint frequently, but it's not like a, you know, I reached a certain point and now I just paint whatever I want when I want without any struggle in the process. Did you study gestures? I find that to be recommended often to start beginner-wise. I did not. And I honestly, I won't say that you don't have to 100% study gestures. I mean, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do when it comes to, you know, creative work. You can do whatever you feel like doing. But I did not study gesture and anatomy as much as some of my peers. And I will say that while I have had a very successful creative career, despite not doing that, I noticed the difference between my work and other people's work frequently. And so I have been recently trying to put a little more time into it, because it is, even though it sounds boring, it is a great thing to do that you should probably do. I would recommend it to you as somebody who has struggled in creative projects because I didn't put enough time and effort into stuff like that. However, I think that there is definitely a great way to practice stuff like that, and there's a fucking boring way to practice stuff like that just makes it drag on until you can't stand to sit down and make anything. And that's my problem. That's why I didn't put the time into that, because I'd go and look at all of these things that were like, if you want to study anatomy, draw this a billion times, and eventually you'll get good. And that's 100% true. The amount of times that you should draw something in order to get really good at it is actually quite a lot. But what that struggle and that lack of enthusiasm comes from is forgetting, and please listen to me here, because I wish somebody would have said this to me, truly. All of that, like, I don't want to study anatomy, and I don't want to study gesture, and I don't want to do this and that. In my experience, that came from me forgetting to enjoy the journey. And I know that sounds cheesy, but truly, like, you don't have to wait until you master the anatomy and the gestures and all that stuff to work as a creative or to enjoy what you're doing as a creative. That's simply not true. And if you're struggling to make the time to study anatomy, what you should do is, instead of drawing like a male body, because you need to work on male anatomy, fucking draw male anatomy of your favorite character. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Just like, enjoy the process. You might not want to, study the female form, but like, wouldn't you enjoy painting Catwoman? That kind of shit. Like, trick your brain into really loving the process of practicing and bettering yourself as an artist. And I think that it'll come a lot easier and a lot naturally to you. Because those are the things that I have changed in my process that have really benefited me. Just like that drag, like, ugh, I don't want to paint another hand, but like, I want to paint an elegant hand of like a magical prince, from fucking Lord of the Rings. I'd do that in my spare time. Getting to the point of things looking or sounding good enough is hard as a creative. 100%. 100%. I absolutely agree. And it's just like, but is it hard, or is it just time consuming? This is the question I ask myself, and I'm not asking you, because you should know, or because I do. Like, I mean it genuinely. It's something that I question a lot, is like, is the process of becoming a great artist difficult, or is it just time consuming? Because I think that anybody can make great art if you put the time and effort into it. And that's like the dilemma, right, of like talent versus skill. And I don't think that talent and skill are the same thing, and I don't think that somebody with more talent than skill will be better than somebody who has more skill than talent, or like the person who doesn't have as much talent as someone else will never surpass others. And the reason for that is because I don't think talent actually makes you great at something. I think talent is your innate ability to take to a concept with ease. I think some of us have more talent than others, And those people with that, you know, that extra talent are people where, you know, things just kind of click in their brain a little easier when it comes to approaching certain concepts. I've met people that have incredible artistic talent, but they don't hone their skills. And so people with less talent, but who have put more time and effort into their creative skill, surpass them professionally. Does that make sense? And I will also add, this is my personal opinion, you know, and I think that if you don't agree with me, that's fine. And I think that if you don't agree with me and you want to say so, I'd love to have a conversation about it, because these are just this, you know, this is shit that's running around in my brain all the time, and it's good to talk to people about it. Makes sense? I think so too. I think, you know, because I grew up getting picked on because my art was not as good as the other people I was hanging out with. I remember going to school and, like, I hung out, you know, like, kind of with, like, the anime group of kids, just the nerds, you know, and everybody who was in that group, they were all, you know, had their own OCs, and they would, you know, draw characters and everything, and design outfits and things, and their art was super good, and I really, really wanted to be a part of what they were doing, but I was told often that it wasn't as good and that I should quit. But I wanted to do it, you know, and I did quit for a time, because I just didn't feel confident in what I was creating, but it's something that I always ended up returning to, and I think that means something, you know, like that innate desire to create, I think, is enough of a reason to do it, because there's people that go their whole lives without having the desire to pick up a pencil or a tablet or a pen and make something in that way. I always came back to it, and I eventually became good enough that I work this as a job now, where I don't think that anybody back then would believe you if you told them that this is what I was doing, because I was not an impressive artist at that time in my life. I just wanted to be, you know? But putting that time into honing the skill sometimes is everything. I'm glad I didn't quit too, you know? Holy shit! The shoe thief! Bro! Shoe thief? How the hell are you, dude? Oh my god. It is so good to see you. How long has it been? Wow! I'm so glad I started streaming again, man. The chance to see you guys again, I've missed you all so much. So much. Super long time. Hey, Cody! We were having a philosophical discussion about improving your art skill and talent versus skill and all that stuff. You know, the shit we agonize over every day. The stuff we snap our eyes open at 3 a.m. worrying about. Type beat. I went on at the beginning of the stream, I was like, you know, sometimes I don't even start in grayscale. Sometimes I start straight in color. I'm so hoity-toity. And then I was like, nah. And now I'm glad that I just started in grayscale, because this looks good. What you mean, wow, you streaming sends shockwaves through the force. We will all find you. Well, I'm glad that you guys are into it. I'm having a good time. But yeah, you know, that's how I feel about a lot of that stuff. And I think finding that clip that I used in my reel today was like, really, important to me, which is why I wanted to share it. I was not going to post a reel today, and I remember I was flipping through the reels, and I saw this one creative reel that was like, did you make a reel today? And I thought to myself, no, leave me alone. And they're like, if you haven't made a reel today, just take something from your camera roll and post it to this song. And I thought about it, and I was like, nah, I won't do that. That's a lot of work. And then I scrolled, and the next video was that one, and I was like, ah, shit. Okay, let me make some content. And then I painted that Nosferatu a long time ago, and I just never did anything with it because I felt a little self-conscious about it. I didn't know if it was good or not. And I just said, screw it. I put the time in to paint this whole piece. I should use it. So then I put it to that video and was like, I'll share it with this because this helped me today, and maybe it'll help somebody else. You guys are sweet. You guys are... That's another thing. You know what? That's something that I really, really miss from like Twitch chat is like, on Behance, not a lot of people do the little up arrow thing. Cody, have you noticed that? Have you noticed that? Like those little tiny quirks that are just not there. I feel like I do it sometimes, and I feel like it's out of place because that's something that I did on Twitch constantly. It's just like somebody says something and then I just do a little up arrow because it's perfect, you know? It's just a I think this too gesture. Warms my heart. Different demographic of people. Yeah, it's very different. Okay. Speaking of Behance, I'm hoping you guys might join me on Thursday. I'll post about it on Instagram. By the way, let me link you my Instagram because I'm using Instagram a lot these days, and I'm really trying to make it something, you know, like I'm really trying to like put a lot of content up there, so it'd mean a lot to me if you guys checked it out, and if you see something you like, let me know, you know. But I'll post here when I go live, but I will be going to San Francisco next week on Thursday, and I'm doing a stream where I'm gonna be illustrating kind of stuff like this, like little interesting items and things from the studio, and I'm excited about it, but it's kind of a controversial thing, and I would love to know what you guys think about it. So Adobe has a generative AI tool called Firefly, and they've been doing a lot of content with it, and they asked me if I would use it in an authentic way, like, you know, if you were going to use this, how would you use it? And so I decided that I will do a stream where AI is not the final product, because when it comes to AI, I feel like I share a sentiment about it, as like many of you guys might, especially if you guys are illustrators. It's a really scary thing coming around, especially with some of the advertisements for a lot of these services and stuff. I was on Instagram just today when there was like this advertisement for an AI product that you could take a picture of, for like small business owners running an Instagram. You could take a picture of your product, and then the AI like cuts out your product and like puts it on a AI generated background, so it looks like a super hoity-toity, like professional photo shoot of your product. And I swear to God, verbatim, they opened up with, product photographers just lost their jobs. Look at this. and then started demoing their product, and it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad, like the stuff that comes through where it's like almost advertising it as like a you don't need us anymore kind of thing. But I'm also, you know, kind of torn because I also don't think that it's gonna go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing I can do to stop it, no matter how uncomfortable it makes me. And when it comes to the different generative AI models which are available currently, I do appreciate the way that Adobe goes about creating theirs. For example, they do not allow you to use Adobe Firefly right now currently for commercial use, because they are still coming up with an ethical commercial use model for it. And now I don't have all of the inside details on this, and I'm just one person. I can't answer every question about it and find you a perfect ethical solution for every single problem that comes up when it comes to the use of generative AI. But that was important to me, you know, like making a version of it that is that works for commercial use, by making a version of it that cannot generate any copyrighted material, and therefore making it impossible for people to do what we've seen with like Midjourney and stuff, where you can just go snipe somebody's entire portfolio and upload basically generative art in their style. So like seeing that and then taking it into consideration and like moving into the generative AI space, thinking about creatives was something that I had a lot of respect for. And so when they asked me, like, how do you use it? How would you use it? I felt like I could use it in a way that like was true to me. And the way to use it for me is to use it for inspiration, and use it for planning and testing colors and things like that as an illustrator, rather than generating things and leaving it as is. You know? And so what I'm going to be doing on Thursday is I'm going to be generating some little generative AI planets and stuff, like some cool little planets. And then I'm going to be like hanging out with the chat and thinking, you know, kind of brainstorming out loud what would live on these planets, and then allowing those images to inspire my personal illustrations, you know, because that's how I would do that. And it's like it's hard because I feel like a little out of my depth when it comes to the stuff, but I also feel like I have an opportunity to do a live stream that I feel represents the way I think it should be used, and to promote something that is not promoting the we don't need X, Y, and Z type creative people anymore because now we have this, you know, which I've seen in other advertisement models. So, oh my gosh, I need to see this. Yeah, you saw that? The photo, whatever. I can't remember what it was called. I don't even, you know, want to give name to it, but I was like, what the fuck? I was, and luckily, like, I did not lose complete faith in the internet, because I instantly was like, oh, I gotta see the comments. And the comments were very much like, hey, this is all fucked up. So I did appreciate that. I was like, okay, nobody else likes this either. But that doesn't mean that people aren't using, you know, the software and, you know, and all that stuff. So it's, you know, it's a difficult landscape, and I feel that fear in me when it comes to like what it may be capable of in the future and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I've come to the conclusion that I exist. You know what I mean? I'm here, and I'm here to stay, and I'm gonna keep expressing myself creatively, and that might mean that some of that creativity it's gonna have to coincide and coexist with it, and I'm just trying to like kind of find my way through it, if that makes sense. You know, just trying to figure it out, what the world looks like for me, and what it, you know, what business and everything feels like for me as these tools are on the rise. So that's where I'm at with it at the moment. I feel like it's kind of using a group imagination to generate the seed of an idea. It shouldn't be the final product. Yeah, and you know, people are gonna sell it. They're gonna sell it. I feel like one of the main things is like selling it as an NFT. If people are still doing that, I don't even, are NFTs even like still super lucrative? Is that even like a thing really anymore? I don't know. I don't stay up to date on it because it's, I thought at one point that it might be something that I do, but I just like, there's so many hoops to jump through to do like that type of stuff, and it just, I was like, this is a lot of work to not know if this is gonna even be something I want to do. There was already an incident of government using an AI to generate propaganda art, and it backfired in the most hilarious fashion. Oh, I fucking bet, because the thing about it is like, I feel like a lot of people who are fine using it as a final product, you know, typically don't have an eye to spot it. And that's not true in every case, you know, but that's how I feel, is like a lot of the people who are like, oh, this is perfect, look at this amazing, it's like, I can spot AI generative art. I can spot it almost every time. And so I'm just like, so it doesn't surprise me that if somebody tried to use it to make propaganda, it backfired horribly, because they probably didn't have the eye for it, like to spot it and be like, oh, you know, we can't release this because this doesn't look quite right. They had to go in and basically lobotomize the AI. The NFT hype seems pretty dead. Alright, that's what I figured, you know, because I haven't, like, seen a bunch of people doing stuff anymore, but I don't know if I really need to add a bunch of detail to this. Like, I keep adding detail, but I don't think I need to. I think this is kind of cool. I've kind of worked it as much as I can, and then I think what I probably will do is I'll come in later and like add more like highlights and stuff, and like, you know, like shit like this, and just make it more make it pop, you know. I could do like some little mushroom spot swipes, stuff like this. But I have been painting this one freaking mushroom this whole time. That looks pretty cool, actually. That looks pretty neat. I'm gonna go ahead and group that, and I'm gonna turn that into a smart object, and then I'm gonna bring that down here because I'll probably put it in the corner. That's where that is. That's where that's going, but we'll leave it up here for now. There's a little mushroom guy. Passes out glasses of Chechen Blanc in chat while Val does TED Talk. Yeah, you know, it's like, it's hard. And I don't know, it's also difficult too to like, you know, be an illustrator and working with generative AI, but I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? I mean, I feel like I kind of know how you feel about it, but like, this is me trying to find how do I work How do I exist with this? And, you know, what am I gonna choose to do? Generated art has the McDonald's TV commercial sheen and glisten look to it. It does! It's okay, because the conversation is deep. Mushrooms is taking us places. But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm pretty excited about it, actually, because I just want to, you know, I want the opportunity to showcase a workflow where, you know, you might be using generative AI, but like it doesn't look, you know, it's not finished until a human has, you know, put that final touch on it. You know, you still need me to make it something that is worthwhile. And cheese potato chips I shouldn't be eating. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna do the cattails yet, because the start of that bummed me out. I did not like that shape I made. Let's do plants. Like some leaves. I think it's an amazing tool for concepting. It was probably meant for that stage of the pipeline initially, but the theft is unreal. Oh, yeah. Like, I know people personally who are like, oh, look, there goes another one of mine that's not mine. And people are selling it, you know, but that's, you know, that's one of the things that attracted me to, like, the way things are going with Firefly, because you're not supposed to be able to make any copyrighted material with it, and they haven't released it for commercial use because they're still testing things. So like when you go to use it in the browser, it lets you know, it gives you a warning when you try to download it to remind you that it's not for commercial use. And if you try to type in something, like if you try to type in like Darth Vader or something, it says, sorry, you're breaking the terms of use. Like you're breaking the guidelines for Adobe Firefly. And you can try all you want to like describe things to see if it'll generate something that looks like copyrighted material, but I haven't really been able to do it, and I've been trying, you know. And then if you see something that looks like it's copyrighted, you can report it. Like, you can send them a message and say, like, flag it and say, hey, somebody needs to look at this, which is also good, you know. I like that. Okay, so if this, like, were to go right here, that would be cool. And then I could also make it double-sided so that I can do, like, the other side here. If I wanted to. Maybe, but that's, like, an idea. But mostly, what I might be able to get away with doing is just, like, a lot more simple than this. Like, I could do something like this. Like coming off the other side of it. Let's do that. So what are you guys working on these days? What are you guys doing? I've been doing artwork, and I've also been writing stories. I have decided that your girl is gonna be a romance author. I've decided it. I kind of mentioned it yesterday. But I like writing, like, romance fan fiction. I just like it. I couldn't tell you why, but I like doing it. And I started writing my own novel, because I've spent, like, 15 years on fan fiction websites reading and writing romance for my favorite fandoms. And so I'm gonna do it, guys. I've been learning guitar. I do suddenly feel inspired to draw again, though, for some odd reason. You should do it! Getting back into working on my psych theory was putting together some bullet points to discuss intermittent fasting's application in addiction treatment. Oh, very interesting, actually. That's really fascinating. Too many projects, can't stay focused, collecting soda tabs for a dress, melting plastic lids, and I want to do some graphics for myself. You're always doing, like, the most unique things, lady. You really are. I feel like, so for those of you guys who might not know, I think Shoe Thief and Vecta, you guys are familiar with Lady. But I remember, and I still tell people about this, like, I like doing a illustration challenge on the Adobe Twitch channel, and then like getting drawings from people, and then Lady fucking crocheted a character for us. I think it was Tinkerbell, wasn't it? Wasn't it Tinkerbell? And so we were like, yeah, you can, you know, do any kind of art you want. And a lot of people did like traditional work or digital work or whatever, and then Lady or the Tiger comes through with a crocheted character, and I like, people still talk about that. Working on a playing card set, that's amazing. Writing a horror comic, actually. I love it! My favorite genre is like horror comedy or like horror fantasy. So the story that I'm writing, it is a love story, but it takes place during the zombie apocalypse, because why not? You know? Why is this not doing... Oh! Am I clipped to the sketch? Is that what's... Yeah, okay, hold on. Merge, damn it. There we go. Tinkerbell and female purple Yoda. Yes, indeed. Insert beating forehead against desk, working on defining the social template. But yeah, I like writing in like a horror setting, or like a like a dark fantasy setting. I like reading urban fantasy. But lately I have actually been consuming a lot of like high fantasy. My boyfriend turned me on to Brandon Sanderson recently. I don't know why I never got into it. Probably because typically like I typically read stories written by women only because I usually prefer a female heroine. And just the female heroines that I prefer happen to be written by women. And a majority of the stories I read are like from the point of view of that female main character. But Brandon Sanderson's books are from like all kinds of perspectives, kind of like George R. Martin writes Game of Thrones. And he was like, you really should try it. And I was like, I could, but it's like, it just, to me, it just seemed like such a dense read. And I will say it is a dense read for sure. It's very long. These are like the longest books I have ever consumed in my life. But I think it's worth every second of it, honestly. I think they're fabulous, fabulous books. The writing is so good. And it does not feel like, because you know what I'm talking about, like when you read a book and you're like, oh, this is a male character, you know, that's not written by a guy. There's like inconsistencies in like certain behaviors and things that sometimes that kind of stuff throws me off. But Brandon Sanderson, man, he knows what he's doing, because his female characters are some of my favorite female characters now. Like they're just so good. He does such a good job. All of his character development is like super well thought out and super well done. Everything's very intricate. His stories like connect into each other in a way that I've never really experienced before, as far as like not only connecting his exceedingly long novels together, but he connects like all of his a lot of his stories in different realms on different planets into each other with like references and stuff. Like it's all in the same in the Cosmere, and it's just really, really cool. So I've drawn a lot of inspiration from him recently, because it's just like so good. So I highly recommend, if you guys have not read Brandon Sanderson, I would do that. It's what I'm listening to at the moment. I just finished the most recent Stormlight Archives book, which was just a hell of a time. Let's clip that. Yeah, it's a hell of a book. Several books, and I think there's another one coming out soon, but it's like there's a lot of books that come out. Brandon Sanderson is the guy that like kickstarted a novel and made like $46 million. Did you guys see that? That was him. Because I'm not the only one that likes his novels. I remember when I used to read for fun. Yeah, you know, end of an era. It happens, you know, you get busy and things change. That kind of happened for me for a while there, where I was just kind of chugging along in life and I wasn't reading any fiction. I found this reel recently that I thought was so funny, because like I read a lot of fiction, and I do read some nonfiction. I do. I read some self-help stuff sometimes, and I read every once in a while I read some history stuff. But for the most part, I just read fiction because that's just what I like. And I found this reel of this girl that's like, I read fiction, I read for fun, I do not read for advice, I'm fine with no advice. And I just thought that was so funny. Now I watch Master of Wine videos while I sip a glass down in my downtime, old guy stuff. That's fine, though, you know, if you enjoy it. The one thing that I did read, it wasn't recently, but it's something that I've like not forgotten, is I actually got turned on to reading it because I was reading a fan fiction. It was like a General Hux centric fan fiction on AO3, and every chapter of the fan fiction had like a little excerpt, quote from Napoleon Bonaparte, and I was like reading them, and I was thinking to myself, I might have to read about Napoleon because, like, I had never really been interested a lot in history, or reading a lot of history stuff. I admit I'm not really very well versed in stuff like that. I prefer, like I said, to consume fiction, and why read about real stuff when you can read about vampires and stuff, you know? Short man, short temper. Oh yeah, oh yeah. But, you know, it's like, it's such a weird thing. Like, I read it and I found myself completely fascinated with the guy. And that's not to say that he's a great guy, obviously. But just like a really, really fascinating person. And like reading about his own adventures into literature and writing stories. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he wrote a romance, or like he wrote fiction for a time. From what I understand, they were abysmal. Like they weren't that good, but you know, his writings in general, like I just became like kind of fascinated with, and so that I did enjoy that read. It was like a like the story of his life. And I did enjoy reading that a lot. It was a fascinating read for sure. I also read, right now, the non-fiction that I'm in the middle of right now is I'm reading, let me find my phone. I say reading, but what I mean is I'm listening to the audiobooks because, like you, Vecta, found myself in a period of my life where I just don't have the time, a lot of the time, to sit down and read, specifically. But I do have time to, I pop an audiobook in my ear and sit down and paint and work. Give me a moment here, because I'm looking through my Audible thing. I'm listening to On Writing by Stephen King right now. And I love this book. I highly recommend it. And I think, who was that? Liquid? Was that Liquid that said? Oh no, Shoe Thief. Shoe Thief, you said that you're writing a horror comic. You should check this book out. On Writing by Stephen King. I will link it in the chat. On Writing by Stephen King. And I highly recommend that you get the audiobook, because the audiobook is actually narrated by Stephen King himself, which is fascinating. I think that you will enjoy it. I think he does a good job, and it's really cool, like, just to hear his words from himself, you know? But it's about writing stories. Hopefully this is a long ass crazy link. That's not even gonna send to you, hold on. It's about writing, and he said something that I thought was like really incredible, and it has actually really helped me personally with my writing. And it was that he was like, all the books in the world about this kind of thing, all the books that are supposed to teach you how to write a great novel, how to write the perfect novel and get famous for writing the most incredible book ever. He's like, I think they're all bullshit. I think every one of them's bullshit. I even think that this book is kind of bullshit, but I'm gonna do my very best to not bullshit with you, basically. He said there is one book actually that's not so bad when it comes to this sort of stuff, and he does talk about that book, and that book is called, I haven't read it yet, because I'm making my way through this one right now, but that book is called The Elements of Style by William Strunk Jr. and E.B. White. So I'll get to that one, but he was talking about how, like, nobody can tell you how to write a great novel or write a great story. And he's like, I'm not going to tell you how to write a great story, because there really isn't a way to teach that. And at any rate, what you should be doing, instead of, like, you know, not what you should be doing, I can't really remember how he phrased it, but basically, I'm not going to teach you how to write a great novel, I'm going to teach you how to identify a great idea. And I thought that was awesome because, you know, I feel like that's really what I need when I'm thinking, you know, about my own writing and wondering if what I'm doing is good. You know, is like, is this idea good? Is this, you know, and I can work on writing a great novel. You know, you can get an editor or have a friend read it and make it a great novel. But it's like, is the idea, are you executing on an idea that is a great idea? And he was talking about, like, I can't even really tell you 100% how to identify a great idea, but I can tell you how I came about the great ideas, which are considered my great ideas. And so he's just, like, kind of telling the history of, like, how he became him and how he wrote the stories of his that are most famous. And it's a fascinating read. So I highly recommend that. If there's any other writer friends in the chat, I am enjoying it a great deal. Stephen King is a weird guy. He's a very strange man. I will say that. But I think we knew that, right? Pretty sure we know that he's a weird guy. I'm pretty sure he knows that he's a weird guy. I don't think he needs anyone to tell him. Alright, what I might do, because I am spending a lot of time on this, what I might do is, I don't know if I want everything to be exactly the same color. I think I need to add some different colors in here. What I might do is just kind of add a little more to this. I still didn't get a fan for this room, and it is, like, really, really hot in here. So I'm trying to hustle things along. I do want to get to the Star Wars stuff. I might just switch over to that real quick so I can at least get a little bit done on that. I'm lurking right now because I'm playing Minecraft but loving this topic. Oh yeah! Yeah, you would love it, Cody. It's a great book, you know, and I think it's a book that you can listen to and take inspiration from for any kind of writing, really. And it's been kind of fascinating just hearing of it from him as himself. That's been just really cool. I really should not have painted so much of his face on other layers. I'm gonna have to layer via cut this. I think I only did it on that one. Yeah. I just got off Minecraft to lurk during the stream. Awesome. I think what I'm gonna do, just for my own pleasure, because I don't think I'm gonna be live for too much longer, is I'm gonna mess around with a little bit of color on our boy here. Because I realized, you know, I was looking at it this morning, and I was like, he still looks too human. So I'm gonna add a little bit of color to this, and we're gonna mess around. What is that? That's gonna probably be on this area. Trying to think of like colors that I should add, you know, because he's got to be blue, but he doesn't need to be all the same blue everywhere. I'm gonna add a little bit of purple in places, a little bit of red in places, and then I'll come in with like some overarching blue tones to like blend it all in. But adding like some darker purplish tones, like where there are shadows and where there are like blood would be close to the surface of the skin, that kind of stuff. Sometimes I see an effect with the blending modes that I really like, but it doesn't make the color I want, so I'll leave that effect on, and then I'll come in with the hue and saturation sliders and slide it around and see if I can make it do what I want. I feel like I need to get some greenish tones in here too. Although I might change this to like a more bluish green. Cool. I might actually leave that like that and then grab something more like this. I feel the most valuable lesson you taught me lately is to walk away from an art piece and come back to it later. You really got to do it. I'm happy to hear that you found that useful. And I actually need to take my advice more often, because sometimes I don't. Like, I get so frustrated with the piece. I just want to work on it until it's better. And I think that's with anything creative. I think that's, you know, even maybe non-creative things like you know, just like regular work stuff too, it can be really useful. It's just like seeing it with fresh eyes and putting your brain someplace else for a little while you go do something else. Okay, that is like the kind of blue that I want, sort of, but with like some warmer tones in it, but it doesn't, it's a little too muddy the way that I've done it, so I might mess around with this, but you can still see like some of those other tones under the skin, but that's pretty good. I could probably mess with that because it adds color to it. It doesn't just make it like an overlay that's glomming on in a way that I don't like. So let's go back to that multiply. Yeah, okay. Now let's grab some red. Start messing around with these eyes a little bit. Oh, that red looks pretty good, but I feel like it's a little too soon. Something like that. We can... I fucks with that. I like that. It's kind of nice. But we gotta make it pop a little bit, and I gotta add detail properly to his eyes, because it can't look like human eyes. It needs to feel a little different. Let's grab like this, come up to this color, get something going. A little more purple. Just kind of accentuate some of these points here. Get these little light zones. Really want to define this nose. I think I want that nose to be a little more defined, actually. Oh yeah, I'm liking this. So handsome. Boy, let me just make these eyebrows fleeky, honey. Come correct with these eyebrows, boy. Let's give it a little Archie attitude, baby. I want you guys to know I talk like this even when I'm not live, especially if I'm drawing Thrawn. I just want to say that so that you guys don't think I'm putting this on for you. This is how I talk. This is how I talk to my husband. Okay, that's how I talk to him. I don't even know if eyebrows are supposed to go that way, but who cares? Who cares? Not moi. I don't know who cares, but she ain't me. She ain't me. Oh, I should probably flip my... Oh no, what if I flip my canvas and he's not perfect? Oh no, he's still perfect. As soon as you added the eye color... Yeah, like now it's Thrawn. Now it's him. Before it was just a regular man. But no more. Now he's very, very smart. Big smart. Okay, this is what it needs right here. I need to like take this color and I need to do some of that little side nose blush. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, yeah. Let me hook it up. Grab some of that. I think I want to do like a serious, like hard highlight right there. Yeah. Give him that fold right there. Oh. What's happening? It reminds me of when you used to dry Kylo. Oh, you mean as if I ever stopped. The only thing about drawing Kylo Ren's face is I will be the first to admit Adam Driver is not a symmetrical man. He's not. Thrawn's very symmetrical. I'm pretty sure he's very symmetrical. You know, Adam Driver not a symmetrical man, and it's really hard to paint that guy's face. Cause I embellish, you know, and I don't think he's as handsome. As I try to make him look as Kylo Ren, and so I'm like trying to paint him handsome, and like halfway through it I'm like, this doesn't even look like him anymore, because I don't think he's I don't think he's a normal head-shaped guy. You know, so I get frustrated. I get real frustrated. I get real frustrated drawing that guy's face. Mostly because he's got 2 different profiles. You got... But I love him. I love him. It's my second husband. It's my vacation husband. Okay, so... I think I only have one... Honestly, hold on. I think I only have one painting of Kylo Ren that I did that I actually like because it's, like, accurate, but it's also the only painting where I didn't try to paint his whole face because if I tried to paint his whole face, it would just fall apart. It would just fall apart completely. Let me see if I can find it. You guys know what I'm talking about? Not the purple one with the flowers, but the one that actually shows his face, where he's like laying in a pool of blood. I did... Oh, no. I did this one too. This one kind of looks like him. This one sort of looks like him. A nice soft Ben Solo. But it's still not quite. It's still not quite him. Which is just the way it goes for me and Kylo Ren painting sometimes. But hold on, let me find this painting. I know I have it. It's on my Instagram somewhere. It's been a long time since I painted that. That was back in the day. That was when I was streaming on Twitch, because there's pictures here that I'm scrolling past of when I was advertising. I was going live on Twitch. Where are you, Kylo Ren? You are here somewhere. Oh my gosh, I forgot I painted Aaron Yeager. Oh! Speaking of Kylo, this is me on my way to Sac Anime. Tell me about the droid, baby. I forgot all about that. Oh yeah! I took hella pictures in this. I made that. I made that myself. Because I was like, I want to be Kylo Ren. And everywhere I looked, there's only one place I could find that, like, actually had a Kylo Ren cosplay thing. Oh, here's the Revan! Liquid, was it you that wanted me to paint Revan? From yesterday? That's the Revan. I did paint Revan. But it was like a sketch and I never finished it. So, there's the Darth Revan. Yeah! Yes! You know, Cody. And then... Wow, some of these paintings this far back are not good paintings. What was I thinking? I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I didn't post that one to Instagram. That sucks. I spent all this time looking for it, and it's not even here. That's embarrassing. Oh, there's a picture of me and Cody. Well, I wasted your time. I wasted your time, folks. Welcome to the stream. I will do this to you often. That's just a fact. Okay. You did have the Kylo with blue roses. Yes, I did have the Kylo Ren with blue roses, but I was looking for the one of him in the red. In the blood. In the blood! You did not waste my time. I'm enjoying the fun and chill vibes. Thanks, lady! Wasn't you? Was it you, Cody? Who was it? Somebody yesterday was like, you should paint Revan, and I was like, I did. I just never finished it. I'm trying to add a little more definition to some of the musculature in his face, like the folds and stuff. Because I think like I don't want his face. I want his face to be smooth, but I think that it should be harsh. You know what I mean? I think that that would be accurate. So like these strong folds in his skin and stuff like that, they need to be pretty dramatic. Are you talking about the Kylo with the water? Yes! Yeah, Robin. I don't remember where I posted that. With the water effect, and he has the First Order insignia carved into his forehead. Because I'm edgy. I'm an edgy girl from the 90s, so you know. Just Google Voodoo Val Kylo Ren. No shit, really? Oh, it's on my art station. Okay, that makes sense. Wow, I have a lot of stuff on ArtStation still. I haven't used this in forever. Yeah, this one. That looks like Kylo Ren. But like I covered up his whole mouth because I couldn't make it work right with the rest of his face. Poor guy. Okay, I forgot about this painting. I like this painting a lot. Oh, well, there's my emails. Please don't spam my emails. Please don't do that to me. If you guys spam my email, I'll be, I don't know. Be kind to me. Hopefully this place isn't like Twitch. Don't laugh, Robin. It's not funny. I'm scared. That sucks, actually. It does. Sorry about that. Robin's like, damn, G, I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. You're right. You're right. That was fine. I mean, the one email most people have, because it's the one, like, if you email me on my website, you have it. The other one is not so much, and I would appreciate it if you guys didn't send me weird stuff. Or tell anybody. Unless, of course, you're looking to hire an illustrator, at which case, get in the DMs, please. It really depends on what you're trying to send me, unsolicited. Because there's some unsolicited stuff that I'm interested in. It was too quick to see anything. Delete the VOD. No! That's the thing, is I don't want to have to delete the VOD, because I'm working really hard to create content here. And we are, how far in? Delete 2 hours of content because I'm a dumbass? That's embarrassing for me. Maybe I deserve it. Maybe I deserve to be flooded with pictures of Sonic. You know? Maybe I brought this on myself. Not that I have a preference for pictures with Sonic, but you understand what I mean. You never know who's gonna be on the internet. Sanic, yes. Sanic. Anyone that stays 2 hours to see it will respect you, I'm hoping. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a very good point. If you made it this far, you're the homie, so don't betray my trust. Anyone who's watching this VOD. That's what... I'm not threatening you. I'm just saying if you've been here for 2 hours and then you do this, you'll hurt my feelings. This is a note I'm leaving for anybody who gets this far. Don't be weird at me. You can trim parts of the VOD after the stream is over through YouTube. Oh, okay. I'll do that. I'll do that. So, if you're watching the VOD now and you're wondering what we're all talking about, it's because earlier there was a portion where my emails showed. And now it's gone. With magic. What's going to be really embarrassing, though, is if I don't actually take the time to do it, and then everybody who gets this far watching the vid in, like, 4 years or something, they're going to be like, wow, it's been 4 years, and I saw the email. She never went back. She never went back. She never cut that shit out. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. She just left that shit up there. No sense. Girl ain't got no sense. Oh my god, this brow. Oof. Thrawn, you are perfect in every way. I can't believe I made this. I made this. I kind of like this song. What song is this? I like this. Violet Sky sped up version by Fellow. Is that on Spotify? Because I would jam to this, like in the morning. I spent the last 4 days waking up in the morning and the first song I turn on is BFG on the Doom soundtrack, and it's doing weird things to my psyche. I shouldn't be doing that. If you did see it after saying it was gone, pretend like she remembered. Yeah. Okay, let me look this song up because I'm gonna put this on the morning playlist. Violet Sky. Sped up by Fellow. Yeah, cool. Add to playlist. Okay. This is looking good. This is looking dope. The last thing I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna put a tad bit of effort into the ear just to smooth this out and make it look like there's an ear over here. And that right there is the extent of it, I think. Ooh! Thrawn! Be still my heart. I do have to weasel in this other brow ridge though, over here, like the other side of it. That looks good. That looks accurate to the character. I also think he has one of them classic chins, but just slightly. You know, I say classic chin like people don't have chins like this anymore. But you know, the chins that were like, you know, all the guys in like the 50s, they were like, yeah, see? And they only chose dudes with chins like this. Glad to see you're still doing just blues and purples 6 years later. Robin, you know it. You know it. The doodly chin, yes. The manly doodly chin. Exactly. Okay, damn. That looks good, man. That looks so good. I'm so proud of myself. I can't believe I made this with my hands. With my hands? With these strange wiggly babies? Wow. Handsome. Hides her weird chin that looks similar. Dude, I do too. Don't worry. You can't really see it, but I have a very slight cleft. And when I'm nervous, I push my finger against it all the time. And when I ugly cry over Star Wars, it's very prominent. I was going to say rip Demi Lovato. What? Oh, yeah, because Demi has the... Because Demi... Yeah. No. Anybody can have a chin like this. Okay, I'm going to save that. And I'm going to post this. I'm going to post this as a story. Like a work in progress. Oh, man. Okay, guys. I am gonna take off for the night. That's a good size stream. It's a 2-hour stream. I feel proud of myself. Thank you, Liquid. I appreciate it. I feel very stoked about this. I think it's going well. I'm gonna take off, but I love you guys. You're awesome. I will be back. Let's see. When will I be back? If I can, I will aim for a stream during the week. Maybe, but I'm not making any promises. It's just about how I feel. I'm going to be traveling to San Francisco this week, so I'm going to be doing a lot of things. I am going to be doing that live stream on Thursday, and then I am going to be doing a show with Corey Hall on Friday over on Instagram. So Behance, Adobe Live YouTube stream on Thursday, or Instagram live stream on Friday, Saturday morning cartoons, Saturday morning, and then another one of these streams on Sunday. So, that's kind of the lineup, and I should probably make a graphic at some point so you guys can see, but that's the jam. But, alright dudes, much love, bye!